February 27th, 2026. It was a calm, silent morning in Tehran. At the very heart of the capital, inside a heavily secured complex, Iran's top leadership had gathered for a high-level meeting. From the outside, everything looked normal. The city was moving as it always did. But in reality, at that exact moment, some of the world's most powerful intelligence agencies had their eyes locked on that very building, because they believed that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was inside. According to multiple international sources, U.S. intelligence first detected unusual high-level movement within the complex. Data gathered from long-term surveillance was quickly shared with Israel, and from that moment, a joint covert operation began. An operation that would slowly evolve into something much bigger. For months, efforts had been underway to infiltrate Iran's communication systems. Satellite surveillance, hacked CCTV feeds, and intelligence analysis were used step by step to track the movements of top officials. The goal was not immediate destruction, the goal was certainty, to confirm exactly where the real target was. Meanwhile, Iran remained confident. Its layered defense systems, advanced radar networks, and air defense shields were believed to be strong enough to protect its leadership. But this war didn't begin with weapons. It began with information. As every movement of key figures came under surveillance, even the most secure locations slowly became vulnerable. According to analysts, this was the most critical phase of the operation, because without confirming the target, no strike could ever succeed. And once it was confirmed that Iran's top leadership was gathered in one specific location, the next phase began. Tehran had no idea. The city continued its rhythm. But behind the shadows, the war had already begun. After months of intelligence gathering, the operation entered its most decisive stage. Initially, the objective was not to directly eliminate Khamenei. Instead, the plan was to overwhelm Iran's defense systems, to keep them busy, distracted, unable to respond at the critical moment. Reports suggest that before targeting leadership, the first phase aimed to weaken Tehran's air defense temporarily. Iran had long relied on its powerful air defense network. The radar systems surrounding the Al-Asima were seen as the ultimate shield. So instead of a direct strike, a wave of diversionary attacks began. A coordinated U.S.-Israel operation designed to create confusion. Soon, unusual activity spread across Tehran's skies. Explosions were reported in multiple locations. Security forces were stretched thin. And then, the real operation began. Nearly 200 fighter jets launched simultaneously from U.S. and allied bases. What followed was no longer a limited escalation. It was a full-scale, coordinated aerial assault. Inside the city, many people still didn't realize what was happening. Distant explosions were dismissed as minor tensions. But in reality, the attack zone was tightening, closing in on one specific target, the secure complex where Iran's top leadership, including Khamenei, was present. Tension filled the skies of Tehran. Even as explosions echoed across the city, the situation inside that secure complex was not yet seen as critical. And that was the turning point. According to security protocols, leadership was supposed to be moved into deeper underground bunkers. But instead, they remained in a relatively less fortified underground facility. Maybe the threat was underestimated. Maybe there wasn't enough time. But that one decision created a critical vulnerability. At that moment, months of intelligence data aligned perfectly. Analysts confirmed it. The target was there. And with that confirmation, the operation entered its final phase. The diversionary strikes had only been preparation, a way to weaken defenses before the real blow. Then, Within moments, everything changed. A massive explosion shook the entire Elmintica. Layer after layer of security collapsed. A place once considered impenetrable was reduced to rubble in seconds. Inside, there was no time to react. Everything was over before most even realized what was happening. Later, many international analysts would say, had they been in deeper, more secure shelters, the outcome might have been different. But in modern warfare, minutes, even seconds, can change history. As the smoke cleared, the people of Tehran began to realize this was not just another military strike. This was something far bigger, an attack not just on leadership, but on the morale of an entire nation. The explosions faded, and a heavy silence fell over the Al-Asima. Smoke and dust covered the heart of Tehran. Rescue teams rushed in. But it quickly became clear. This was no ordinary attack. It was a precise, calculated strike, targeting Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Several high-ranking military and security officials were killed. Security personnel and staff present at the meeting also suffered heavy casualties. What was meant to be a meeting about national security turned into the center of devastation within minutes. Soon, grief and anger spread across Iran. Politically, the attack was seen as a direct violation of sovereignty. That day, the people of Tehran realized something terrifying. War was no longer confined to borders. Because when even the most secure locations can be struck, it raises a chilling question. Is any place truly safe in the modern world? And yet, history has shown us something else. You can strike leadership, but breaking the spirit of a nation is not so easy. In fact, sometimes such attacks give birth to even stronger resistance. That day in Tehran was not just a story of destruction. It became a symbol of rising tension, of uncertainty, and of what might come next. Because while an attack may last only minutes, its echoes can live on in history for decades.